Next, we see the SDFS. Where we see SDFS command. So key-based command we see SDFS from development command. Third one is SDFS. SDFS plus curl API command for the remote SDFS. SDFS Java API. So, or SDFS system. Right, right. Okay. Next, I get high. Okay. So high is a very important tool in the Hadoop ecosystem because it's a SQL data warehouse tool, and mainly high we use for the SQL database purpose called DB. So here in high we see the DDL command, okay, create tables and those commands, and partition. And partitions are the two types, static and dynamic partition. Bucketing. Now it's good, voice. Hello. Now is it good? Can someone confirm
Yes.
me?
Yes, sir.
Now it's fine, right? No issue.
Yeah, now
right?
before it's coming the breaking.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
So static and dynamic partitioning and dynamic partitioning and bucketing, third is different types of file format data. Okay, so we have used JSON, XML, okay, and there is a fixed width file, okay, regex array. So all those examples are given already. Regex array and Parquet, ORC, so and UDF, how to create a UDF, our custom UDF, that we can write our custom UDF function and we can use in the SQL query. Okay, and other thing in Hive is um, TDL, DDM, TDL, DDM. So next is the sqoop, right? Sqoop is another Hadoop ecosystem component, and it is used for the ingestion of the data. So mainly, sqoop is used for the ingestion of the data from RDMS, from RDMS, any RDMS database. It could be SQL Server, DB2, okay, MySQL, any database, Oracle. You can bring the data into Hadoop distributed file system, and Hive also and hbase. So one is like we can write files. Basically, we are writing files in Hadoop file system, comma delimited file, comma delimited fields file, and then we can write into the Hive. Another approach is we can directly import data into Hive table, and we can directly import data into hbase table. So hbase is a NoSQL database. So there also we can import data from MySQL DB, and we can import data from MySQL to Hive. Okay. So how to start the sqoop? First, we have to install sqoop, right? Installation process is very easy. We can download, get 1.4.7. So here is a bin.tar file. So we download it first, and then we extract this sqoop tar file, and then we can set the sqoop home and sqoop bin path. And after setting that, you can start the sqoop commands. Okay, so you can set. One more thing we needed for sqoop, we need any SQL DB because we have to import data from MySQL DB. So I have to install MySQL DB. So I'm not writing all the steps because all the steps are here. You can see in my document. So this download, this sqoop, and the next thing is the MySQL. So MySQL link is this. Go to the distribution and you can download MySQL. So there is a ready-made VM is there. You can get everything there. Okay. If you want to install your own, So this is the MySQL step. Okay, this is the MySQL steps to download. So once this done, okay, and one more thing we have to set while installing the MySQL, you have to do alter user and set your password. So you can set your password by this command alter table. But first you have to log in MySQL by using sudo MySQL, and then you can try your own password. Whatever password you set it, then you can test it, and then you can test it. And then you have to create a one database you can create, and you can create a table, right? So here I created a simple table like employee table with this table has ID, name, age, and I'm inserting some data in MySQL table. So this part is already ready. I can show you the table. So sqoop has just commands, right? As many as command you do for the different options parameters. So those many commands will be helpful to you to understand the sqoop input. So sqoop has the import and export. So export is basically exporting data from Hadoop distributed file system Hive to RDMS database. It's a reverse process. Okay. So here we go. Having a database scoop one and this show table. Right. So I have inserted data. Okay. So already I have given the command, you can do that. So first we start very basic with sqoop import command so that we can understand how sqoop is done. Okay. So when we are connecting to the sqoop, so sqoop is a tool which is connecting two sides, right? One is it's connecting to the MySQL database, and another one is the file system, right? So file system just we need to provide my target directory. So my target directory, I have to give the location of my target directory. So sqoop, I have to connect to the JDBC URL. And if you have written a JDBC program in the past, so we can understand the JDBC URL is a JDBC colon which DB you are using. This is the port by default port. If you don't give it, then this is the default port for MySQL. So it will be not a problem. So localhost colon 3306 and sqoop one is my database. And this one you have to give use SSL false. Otherwise, you will get some handshaking error, some SSL error you will get. If you don't want that error, even your sqoop import will be done having that error. But if you don't want that error, so you just add use SSL equal to false. Okay. So in the connector, so minus minus. So here is when we are giving a sqoop import parameters. So sqoop import is a base. Okay, and this slash is used for the next line. If I write in the same line, I don't want this. I don't need to write this slash. So if I modify this command, so I can write it in other simple way. I can remove this slash. I can remove slash and then I can write like this. So write like this, I can write. Okay. So this is the way, another way like we can write it. But if I want to write in multi-line, so I can write. This is for understanding purpose. That's the reason it's written in the multi-line. So here is a connect username we are giving here. The root is my MySQL DB password and password is the password. And table is from which table I want to import the data. And target dir is the directory in the Hadoop file system. This directory should be Hadoop file system. And one more thing is when you are importing data, this directory should not be present because this directory, the outer directory should be new directory. It should be created first time. Okay. Or there is another option is there minus minus delete target dir. If you use this option, what it will do, it will delete your existing directory. It will delete existing directory and import the data. Then you will not get the problem for if directory is already exists. Okay. So if you are not using this delete target dir option, so you have to always give the new directory. This sqoop11, sqoop12, you have to give a new directory. And minus m is for the number of mappers. So sqoop job is the MapReduce job. In the back end, sqoop is creating the MapReduce job. Okay. So if I say how we are just writing a sqoop import command. Okay? And this sqoop import command is basically generating MapReduce job, but it is not having any reducer. So generally the mappers are there. Mapper is just importing data and writing data to the files. in the files in the SDFS. Okay. But like if you have some group aggregation is there in your query, suppose you are using minus minus query attribute, and there you have written some select star from table and group by, like you are using group by queries, you are using group by name. Okay. And you are using some name count star. So this kind of queries will generate the reducer also, because here the aggregation is coming. Okay. So when the aggregation comes, so it will have the reducer. Otherwise, by default, it will have only mappers when you are just simple select data. Okay. So simple selecting data, in the map reduce also we have map side join. So map side join is generating output from the mapper only. So you are getting part M file. So when you are generating the sqoop, right, when you are running the sqoop import, only select query. So you will get part M file. Okay. As the output file will be coming as a part M file. Okay. I'll show that. Okay. First, I'm just creating. Is it clear all the parameters? This is a very basic, simple sqoop import command. First, you have to, and one more thing is when you install sqoop, you have to this MySQL connector jar, because whatever database you are using MySQL or you are using SQL Server. So that particular JDBC SQL jar, you have to keep it in the lib folder, sqoop lib folder. So sqoop library folder, you have to copy that jar, and one common length jar also you have to copy from the Hive library folder to sqoop lib folder. So Hive library folder you can go, and from there you can copy the sqoop lib. Okay, so if we go here, softwares, and there is the Hive lib. So Hive library folder. Okay. So here is common lang 2.6. So this jar you have to add into the sqoop lib folder. Okay. So that one. Okay. So once you copy this, and then you can start the sqoop import command. Okay. So I'm just running a first sqoop import. So I have already table. Okay. So here is my table. Any table, I old table.
Quick question,
Okay. So,
Marvin.
yeah.
As regards the target directory, I didn't get that part. You said the target directory must not exist, or we must have created the target directory first, or it will be created on the fly during the sqoop import command.
Yeah, it will be a new directory, and it will be created when you are running a sqoop import. It will be created.
Okay. I get that now.
Yeah. If you have already the directory and you are giving existing, if you am running this sqoop import command again, I will get the error. Okay, so now this retrieve 10 record. Okay, now I check
Okay.
in my Hadoop file system location. Okay, so Hadoop fs minus ls slash sqoop slash 12. This is the directory where I imported data. Can you see just now the file is imported, right? Part M000. So if I want to see the content, I do fs minus cat, then I will get this directory. I can see slash because it's in the root. So here you can see it's the same content here. The GMP, what I give in the EMP data. Okay, so my EMP data is this, right? This is my EMP data. So in this my EMP data, and this is the same data, right? So I'm getting the same data. If I run my sqoop import command again second time, okay, I will get the error. I will get error directory already exists. Output directory SDFS, DFS like workshop 2, sqoop 1, 2 already exists, right? Because otherwise, what options I have to use? I told like minus minus delete target dir. So what you do, just copy this minus minus delete target dir, copy and paste it here, the target dir. So it will delete the directory. Now it will not give the error. If I run this command, it gives the error. So sometimes suppose we are doing some automation, like I'm calling from the shell script. So you cannot change again, right? For testing purpose, you can give new directory, but every time you don't want to give the new directory, right? So suppose in your shell script, now it's not a problem, right? Any number of times you run it, it will be giving you the output because I have given the minus minus delete target dir option. Okay, as many number of times you can run. So this minus minus delete target here. Suppose this data, I want to terminate it as a dollar symbol because right now, if you have seen the file is coming comma delimited, right? That's a default delimited character. Okay. So I just want to change my delimited character. I just want to my delimited character, this one, field terminated by dollar. I want to give this. I will, I will just add it here. I can add it. Sequence not a problem. So I just added dollar here. Okay. And target dir I'm keeping it same because I'm using minus minus delete target dir.
So what if
Running it
what
now.
what about if you're having the issue of incremental loads?
Incrementer will come, it will come. Okay. I will slowly, I will tell everything. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. First, we need to understand the options. Okay. Incremental is see. Now this time is also import is done. Okay. Now we have to verify our file is having the different delimited character or not. Folder is same, right? Folder and files both are all same, right? So now let's see. It should come dollar. So average you are able to see the dollar symbol is coming. So just we are using option and we are changing our output, right? So we are modifying output based on our parameters, right? So sqoop import command, number of record, everything will come same. Depending on the parameter you are using, it will change your output. It will modify your output. Okay. So this is the terminated by. Okay. So what are the options I covered? Delete target directory, field terminated by that we can use. Okay. Another thing is like, okay, so like in my scoop, I want to do some multiple output file, right? Okay. So one option is I can split by ID and minus M parameter, I can increase. So right now I'm using minus M1, right? It's a sequential one. Okay. So if I want to create a multiple output file, right? I want to run because the advantage of minus M, the more number of value I can give, I want to do the parallelism, right? Suppose 100 records are there. So four output file I want to create. Four output file I want to create. So what I will do for that, I will use minus minus split by, and I have to give some column, which is a unique ID column. So in my table, EMP ID, ID is the column is the my column, right? That column is a unique ID column. And I'm doing here minus M2. So if I have a 10 record, so equally it will be divided. If I'm giving M4, it will divide it into the 4. Okay. So or you can use minus minus num mapper also. So either we can use either minus M or minus minus num mapper. Okay. So same thing, like same table I'm using here. Okay. And here I'm just making it, and this is I'm changing to scoop 1. And here is my folder is a workshop. Parameter is very important to understand because if your parameters are correct, then only your Okay, this directory is already there. So this time we are doing minus m parameter with the higher value. Okay, and see that in our output, how many files will be generated. Okay, so still the records are 10. Okay, still the records are 10. Records are same, right? Okay, there is no change in the number of records. But here, one two, okay, one two directory. I have a one part m file. So this is my part m file, 5 records. If I do it, change here 00001, so that will be my second file. Okay. So remaining other 5 records are there in my other part 1. Suppose you have a 12 record and you have given 3. So 5, 5, 4, 4 it will do. It will first divide equally. Okay. So here it is basically distributing the data into the your number of output file using the minus m parameter. Okay, it's clear so far? Because I'm just going through all the command one by one. Okay. So now next is, suppose I want to get a specific column, right? Suppose right now you see all columns are coming. Okay. So if I see my MySQL table, if I see, so I have the all 4 columns. So data is coming for all 4 columns, but I want only ID, name, age. Okay. So I can define the minus minus column attribute. Minus minus columns will give you the specific number of columns. You can specify this. Okay. I can do this, but I want like you can try. Okay. So you can try later minus columns. Okay. Next thing is free from query. What is free from query? Free from query is, so far we are importing the table, column. Okay. And even the minus where condition also you can keep it. So you can do minus where, where, and then you can give the some condition id is greater than. So like this you can add minus where condition also you can add it. Minus where, this is the five where clause. Okay. So this clause also you can add it for condition. So 3 clause are there: minus table, minus column, and minus where. So minus table will be bringing the table, all columns. If you are giving minus column, only specific column, and minus where means you can specify some condition. For that condition, the data will come. Okay. But suppose I don't want to give all these 3 different fields. I just want to give query. So I can give the query, select star from EMP where, and I can give the condition here itself, and I can specify the field also. I say I want ID, name, age. Okay, so here I can say, so all 3 different clause, instead of that, you can write a minus query and you can specify your query. But in this query, if you see, the dollar condition is a must. Okay, this dollar condition is needed in the where clause. And if you have any where condition you're on, you and operator, you use that and condition. If you don't have any condition, so at least you can keep it dollar condition only. Okay, so other parameters all same, except the in the minus query we are adding the dollar condition. Okay.
Okay, so what you are saying is, in our where clause, before we can put what our own condition is, we have to say where dollar conditions and our own condition,
Here
right?
you don't need. This is here you don't need it. This where condition is different. This where condition is when you just specify your table, column, and the where clause. Okay. This dollar condition will be coming when you are using minus query attribute. When you are using minus query and writing a select query. Even you can write a
Okay.
join query also. Suppose you want
Okay.
to take the data from the two tables. Okay, so you can write a join query. Whatever SQL query you can run in your database, same SQL query result you can get it in your Hadoop file system. Okay. So what
Okay.
sqoop will do, it will run your query in the DB and get the result and bring it to the Hadoop file system. But here is not like customizable is not there. It's just simple, like only your columns I can bring, and I can give once conditions, right? And condition I can give, or single field condition I can give. It's a simple where condition I can give. Okay. So it
Mhm.
will filter out the data. It just filter out the data, but you cannot do the join or those things. Okay. For that, we have
Mhm.
to use free from query. Free from
Query.
query is minus minus query and give as it is query. The only condition is you have to add a dollar condition in the where clause. That's it. One in the where clause you add dollar condition. Suppose you have your own two more conditions are there, right? So you can and you can do, but dollar condition will be coming the part of the where clause. Okay.
Okay, get
Okay.
it now.
Okay. Let's import this data. That make sure like okay. So yes. And you are able to see here now, no reducer is there. So reducer is 0, right? Reducer is 0. Map is 0. Map is 100%. Okay. So there is no reducer. Okay. So here is how many records are fetched? 9 records. Retrieve 9 records. Okay. I given a scoop 14. Okay. One part file is created. I want to see this part file 14. Okay. 0, 0. So see, the first of all, the data is coming dollar separated. Okay. And ID is greater than 1 I given. Can you see here ID 1 is coming, the data? That's the reason 9 record came. Okay. So only 9 record came because the condition is ID greater than 1. Okay. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 IDs are coming. Okay. So one ID is not coming. So here in the table, you see 1 to 10 IDs are there. Okay. So other parameters will behave same. There is no change, right? Whatever the field terminated by delete target dir. So those will only the new thing is here query minus minus query. And here you understand this. Okay, suppose if I remove it, okay, I show you what error will come. So you should also come to know like what error comes. So suppose you are giving just ID greater than 1 and delete target dir is there. So I don't need to delete the data. What is saying? You have to tell this error must contain dollar condition in where clause. Okay. So this is the design of the query. Like basically they have uh, put a mandatory condition, right? Dollar condition. Okay. Okay, this is clear. So next is I want to check in my SQL how many databases are there because I can't access my database, but still I want to know my databases, list of databases, list of tables. So it's very, very simple. It's not a sqoop import. Hey, sqoop has different utility. Sqoop import is a one utility. So sqoop has different utilities are there. Sqoop import is a one. Sqoop list database is another utility. List table is another utility is there. Sqoop export is another utility is there. Sqoop validate is another utility is there. Sqoop merge is the another utility. So sqoop has provided various utilities. So sqoop import is the importing the data related. Okay, list databases is doing basically finding out the databases in your MySQL DB. See how many databases you have in your database. So it's very simple. Just you don't provide any database name here. Just give your connect URL and user and password. So when you run this, you will get your
Excuse me,
all the
I have a fundamental question here.
yeah.
I
Yes.
think I missed the presentation on scoop environment. I've installed it. It's giving me issues. I believe you explained it. I wasn't there.
No, what yeah, you are saying is sqoop is
Ah.
having the issue in the
On the scoop environment, what you need. I think
no, are you able to do see this? Okay, so are you this is a warning. Okay, what I'm saying is just you search, just try this one, sqoop import or sqoop version, right? It is working or not. This is
okay.
working like this.
I can try it immediately. Yes.
Yeah, because that is fine, whatever is coming, right? See, in my case also the same thing is showing warning, 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 right? It's not a problem. Okay, your scoop command will work, scoop import command will work. Just check scoop hyphen version is showing 1.4.7. Just check like this, it is showing.
Have
Okay, just check that. Okay, so if your scoop, yeah, so and then try with one scoop import command, then you will come to know your scoop is working on it. Only thing is you have to put the library MySQL connector jar. You have to put it in the this scoop library folder. Okay, and one common lang jar. Okay, so I told about here the common lang 2.6. This one you have to go.
the scoop import is giving the same issues.
Scoop import is giving. Okay, I will check it in the break. Okay, what the
Okay.
issue is.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, scoop list table. This command is listing all the tables. Okay, suppose I want to see all the tables in a particular database. So I'm checking here. So I'm getting here EMP, EMP1, employee. So all the list of tables, I can get it in the scoop database. So whatever database you give, the database name, right? This database, you will get all the table list. Okay. So this command will be doing scoop list tables. Okay. So scoop list table is getting the data. Suppose you want to import all tables. Generally, scoop import is only one table for one scoop import at a time. You can do only one scoop import at a time. Okay. Suppose you have 100 tables, so you will be writing 100 times this scoop import. Okay. So for that, they have given scoop import all table. So scoop import all table command is very simple. Just you have to tell about scoop import all table, and you have to use the connect and username, and you are giving here the DB. Just you are giving database, but you are not telling the table, because table it will do one by one. It will do one by one all the table in this database. Okay, so all the tables it will do one by one. Okay, by default it will be bringing the data on this directory Hadoop fs minus ls. In this directory, this is the base directory in Hadoop. Okay, one is a root directory, so just understand both are different. When I do slash, this is my slash root directory. There I'm creating my own directories. I'm creating my own directories. Okay, these are my own directories. But
Hello.
one directory is a base. Hello.
Hello, Arvind.
Yeah.
Am I audible? Yes.
Yes.
Actually, I want to load means. Actually, I want to load daily basis data load into the flat file. So
Yeah,
is
that
it
will
possible?
come. That is the incremental load. Incremental load, like new records every time, right? You want to append new records, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I will tell. I will come on.
But in incremental load, we want to load data means daily basis into one file, not multiple files. So is it possible?
It will create always a new file, right? Okay, because it is not deleting the directory. If you are trying minus delete target dir, okay, you want to delete, so it will not allow, because the thing is, it will create every time the new file only, because the file will present, okay, and the new file will be created. Yeah,
Is
in
there
the
any
same file,
way? Is
you
there
have
any
to
way
use merge
to?
command. You have to do scoop merge command is there. So you have to
Okay.
tell about, like, you have a 10 files are there, like file 1, file 2, all files you have done. After that, you will run scoop merge table command. So merge command will merge all the different files to in a single file you can merge.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
manually you have to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
So, okay, so what is the base directory I was telling about? The base directory is like this. This is a base directory. Okay. So when I do Hadoop scoop Hadoop fs minus ls. So here my tables are already imported. I will delete it. So Hadoop fs minus rmr. Okay, so show tables. Let's see how many. So here are the 4 tables are there: EMP, EMP1, employee, employee1. Okay, so I delete all these one so that I can show you EMP, EMP1, employee. Multiple directory you can delete like this. So even employee. Okay. So all are deleted. Okay, employee1. Okay, employee1 is not there. Okay, so so these directories are deleted. Now I will do the sqoop import for all. Okay, and this database is sqoop1. Okay, so sqoop1 database I am importing. So here I'm giving sqoop1 is my database. I'm saying username is this and password is this. Okay, first I do sqoop import all. If I want to do exclude table is specific one table or 2 tables. I don't want to write into the Hadoop file system. So what is the command? You can add exclude table also. So it will import all tables, exclude one table. Okay, so I say I don't want employee1. Okay, employee1 table I don't want, except employee1. I want to import other 3 tables. Okay, so how many tables are here? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes, taken tower.
Okay, so we can import like out of 4, 3 tables we can import. Okay, now I'm running the same command. Okay, so
The
2
question
time I'm
is,
not running command like exclude table or without exclude table. So I'm showing the sqoop import all table with exclude table option. So we will see the 3 tables. So it will run 3 times. Okay, one time it will skip. Can you see here? Like one time is done. Like EMP1 is done. Okay, EMP1 is done. And this is running for the second import. So the same process, but it is running in the sequential manner. It's running one by one, right? Second time is done. Second one is done. Employee1 is done. Employee.java, right? Employee done. Okay. Now it's running third one. Okay. And one you will get skip. So whatever I have given the skip, right? So whatever I have excluded, that will show. Okay. So this is skipping table employee1. Employee1 is a 4th number. Did you see? First employee done, then employee1 done, then employee done, and then when it came to the employee1, it found this is excluded. Then it showed employee1 is a skipping table employee1. Now we verify the. Okay, so in the base I will see here is a employee is created, employee1 is created, and employee is created. All these are the 3 latest. 945 times 945 946. Okay, can you see that this is the latest date and time? So this is the created. Okay, so I want to verify the content. Hadoop fs minus ls or cat I can do, because I know this is emp slash part hyphen m hyphen 5 zeros. Can you see this is the employee? Suppose second one is the employee. So I can see the employee.
each of those tables creates an absolute path in the HBase5 system.
What you are asking?
Yeah, I said because we did not state directory for target.
Yeah, we are not giving directory, but it will not do with the directory. If you try with the directory, it will not do. Okay, because it will do import here. Generally, it will create the import like your user directory, your name, like directly this directory is there. Hadoop fs minus ls, like user Arvin. This one you can try. this directory it can do. If you try, because this is the base directory, right? My user directory. So here also you can import. If you want to give the target dir, you can give. Okay. Okay, I try with the minus minus our target dir. Let's see that what happens. Okay, I try minus minus target. I think it's- Okay, this one. Okay, I'm making it 50.
You may be having issues with the M minus M1.
Yeah, because it's okay, minus MB remove it.
You go back to the text. Yeah, this minus M and 1. It's not part of target list. No, it's not it.
The directory I keep it there. No text. Minus M. For your target dir. Unrecognized.
What is this minus M and 1?
This is number of mappers. How
Okay.
many output file you want? You
Okay.
want default is like next with 4, right? But we want to get only one output.
1.
So here is unrecognized argument in this command. It is not able to pass. So this is just error of because it is saying target dir option is not wrong, but in this particular scoop import all tables. See here it is saying error parsing argument for import all table unrecognized argument because this parameter is unrecognized. If this is unrecognized, so further parameter will not be recognized, right? Because this parameter is giving the error. When you remove this error parameter, your command will work. See, if I just simply remove this parameter, the command will work. So this is not the error. This is just unrecognized parameter is this parameter is not the part of this. Okay, now I try. I will get the error directory already exists, but it will not be giving error. See, it's not error, right? But it is saying already exists. So that error is because my the import is already done, right? Okay. So I told you the base directory it will do, or you can create your own user directory. It cannot go anywhere else, right? Okay. That's my purpose to say. Okay. So you cannot use the target dir here. Okay. That will be unrecognized the argument. Okay. Okay. So next is this one I have already talked about. Okay. So now I'm coming to the incremental. Okay. So generally when we are going for the incremental load of the data, right, daily basis, like I have a today 100 records. Okay, so tomorrow I get 20 records. So when I'm doing scoop import always do the, hello.
Oh.
So scoop import is by default is doing loading the all the records. Okay. But if I want to use the incremental, so I have to use the incremental append. Okay. So incremental, there the two mode are there, incremental append or incremental modified timestamp. So incremental append means when you are going to add only new records, you are not updating or deleting. Okay. So when you are modifying the record, you can go for the modified timestamp mode. So you can use incremental modified timestamp mode. Okay. So this scoop incremental load, one issue is there. You have to always remember the last value, because when we are creating a scoop incremental load, we have to provide the last value. So first time you don't need to add. When you are doing the first time, it will bring all 100 record. It will bring all 100 record the first day. But the second day you will get the one increment value. You will get the last value at the end of the incremental. First time when you run the scoop import, you will get the last value, and this last value you have to add second time. So you have to add this last value. Suppose this last value came 100, so you have to add 100 here, so that it will do only 20 records. So next time it will give you the 120. So when you run this 100 one, this one you will run, so you will get 120. So again you want to run third time, so you have to change your last value. So it's a manual effort is here, right? So there is a solution. I will tell about the scoop job is a solution for that. Okay, here is incremental load we are doing, but this incremental load is a manual. We have to give manually, we have to give the last value, and we have to remember the last value, or we have to check in the database, or whatever the output is coming, we can find from the last value here. Okay, so ultimately we have to remember this last value whenever we are doing the second time scoop import command. Okay, so how to write a scoop incremental load command? So scoop import, everything is same. Here we are adding the minus incremental append and check column ID. So check column is a column on which column it will check the value. Okay, the new value, right? Suppose I'm saying 100 record is inserted today. So next day will be 20 records are added. Okay, so 101 to 120. So those IDs will be the new IDs. Okay, so check column is a column which is a unique column, and there the record will be inserted on the basis of that record. Okay, if you are using a modified timestamp mode, so in that case you have to use incremental modified timestamp mode, and you have to say the check column will be your date column. So both are different. Here is the incremental append for adding a new record. Incremental modified timestamp mode is for updating record, and you have to use check column there, update some date column. So your table should have the date column, then only you can do the update. Okay, so I want to run this scoop incremental import. Okay, so first, how many 10 records are there? I'm importing the 10. Okay, scoop 1, EMP1. Okay, target DIR. Okay, now I'm running a simple scoop import command. There is no last value because I want to get all 10 records. Okay, I want to get all 10 records. So I'm not giving any last value. Okay, even last value you want to keep it 0, you can keep it. Okay, now I'm running. Did you see here? Last value is coming 10. Check column is the ID, and incremental is the append. Okay, so I want to check the data. my directory name is INCR 12. So this is my all 10 record. Okay. So ordering is not coming. We can make it sorted order, like we can use minus minus query and then the data will come in the sorted order. So now one file came. Okay. So now I'm adding the one more record in my file. Okay. Insert into EMP. My table is a EMP1 values. IP. Okay, this is a 3 column. So I remove this. Okay, so I have added the one record. Now I check. Now I have a 11. Now 11, right? So now next time when I run this, I should get this record and it should create another new file. It will not create a same file. It will already part M00 is there and new file will be created with one record with part M00001. Okay. So what change I have to do in my query? I have to change the last value 10 here because it's a, and check column ID. Everything will remain same. And the table is the EMP1. Same thing I'm giving is to EMP1. And the directory is the workshop 2 INCR12. Okay, all things are set. Now I'm running this, and here I'm giving last value 10. So I'm running this report.
The last value and check column are working hands in hand.
Check
So
column what?
the last value and check column parameter works hand in hand. So if I say last value, it will be looking at the last value of what we specified in the check column.
Yeah. Now that then it will understand, right? Okay, last value is the 10, and then it will have to do incremental append for the from the 11, but it found only one record. Can you see now last value has changed? Now last value has become 11. Okay, now I see my file. I will do part 1. Okay, part 1 will be
Oh, you're specifically wrong path there.
yeah. Oh, that 12.
It will be workshop. Workshop's place spelling is wrong. And then
Yeah.
SHP.
O, remove O.
Remove.
Remove
No,
O.
I'm giving O also, right? Workshop 2.
No, you cannot
No,
give
no, in
O.
the SQL thing, it's SHP only.
SHP,
Oh,
yeah.
I by mistake I did that.
By mistake, you
Okay, but here it's a part 0 because it's created a new folder. Okay, so it will become a part 0, right? Single record. Actually, if I give the same directory, okay, so it will become a part M0001. But actually, the
Yes.
directory changed automatically. The file name changed to 0000 because there is no. So it is just sequentially it creates a file. Okay, so this is the incremental load. The data is coming incrementally. Okay, so this way we can do. Now this thing I want to do automation because this is a manual effort, right? I want to always remember my last value. Okay, so Sqoop has provided a one Sqoop job. So Sqoop job is a utility. Sqoop job is a utility to create a job for any type of Sqoop import. So you can create a Sqoop job. and that scoop job is a reusable job. You don't need to write a complete scoop import command again. Okay, and scoop job has different options are there. Scoop job list, so you can see how many jobs you have. If you want to see scoop job like a particular, if you do show particular job, so you can see the metadata. So when I copy this job and I say here show, so it will show me the metadata. Okay, so it will show the metadata of my job. So here is one last value option will be given. So this last value keep updating itself. You don't need to update manually. Okay, so that's the advantage of the scoop job. So scoop job is like generally for the automation we use, and it is providing a reusability. And this incremental load type of data, you are importing the data incremental load. So last value will be maintained here. Okay. So first time when you create a scoop job, it will not store the last value, but the second time onward, the last value will automatically update it. Okay. So first I'm going to show you how to create a scoop job. Okay. So when I come to the scoop job, so I'm just creating a scoop job. So there is a little changes there in the scoop job while creating a scoop job. Generally, you write scoop and import, right? You write like this, scoop import. The entire command will be the same. There will be no change. So here some changes there. Scoop job. Okay, you have to do scoop job minus create your job name. It should be unique name. And one more thing is once you create a scoop job, you can't modify the job. Suppose you have given the wrong parameter here, and now you say I want to edit this scoop job. You can't do. You have to delete the scoop job and create a new scoop job. Okay, or you can create a new one. Okay, and here is a minus is there. Import, there is a space is there. Can you see space? This space is there. This space is mandatory. This space is required. So generally you write scoop import. Generally you write scoop import directly, scoop import. But here you are doing scoop job minus create job name and minus space and import. And after that, rest of the command will same. Nothing will change. So this is the incremental. So I'm specifying the incremental check column. Everything is same. Okay. So I'm changing those parameters. So fine.
What is the driver? The dash dash.
See, this driver is we should not see. Driver is generally is not required. Okay, sometimes like you are not getting a connectivity, so we provide the driver class. So this minus driver is like your MySQL driver. Okay, like JDBC driver. It's a JDBC driver class. Okay, so it is not needed. It is not needed. It will do without driver. Okay. Okay. So I'm just doing this. Username.
You can leave it for completeness though. You don't forget.
What?
As you can leave the driver for completeness.
Oh, you saying okay.
You deleted the drivers, yes, leave it there.
Yeah. I just create. Yeah, I should modify that. Be better, right? Okay. So speed up. Scope implemented. Okay. This one. Okay, so I'm creating a new scoop job. So I just make sure my job should not be present. Okay, so I say my job incremental one. Okay, so this job will not be there. Okay, and table is the EMP one and scoop one. And here I change my workshop to some new folder I'm giving. Some new incremental I'm doing. Okay, so okay, so I'm just creating a first job. Run this. It is done. It is created. Job is created because it's not an import. It's not an import. Actual import will be there when I will do scoop execute command, scoop job execute command. Okay, because I just created job, so I just check the list to see my job is created or not. Can you see my job is coming here, right? If I want to delete this job, I scoop job minus delete option is there. I'm not deleting, but you can. Okay, and scoop job show, right? I want to see the metadata. So I will change the job name here, scoop job. So scoop job has minus list minus minus execute, minus minus show, and minus minus list, and you can do and minus minus delete. The 4 commands are there for management of the scoop jobs, but you cannot modify the scoop job. Okay, my job INCR. Well, in this scoop job, there is a security. Whenever we are trying to scoop job like execute and show, it will ask one more time your MySQL password. Okay, extra password it is asking. Okay, one more time it is asking password. So if you see here, the here is last value option is not coming. Okay, because I mean right now incremental is not started. It is just first time import. It is not incremental started. Every other parameters you can see all parameters values are coming. This is a metadata. This is a metadata. Okay. So this is a metadata information is coming. So here you will see the last value option will come. Last value will come. Okay. Now we are going to do. Now we are going to do the incremental. So I will how to run the job. Okay. So first I have to add data because my okay. First I do the simple scoop job execute command. Okay. Because first time I have not run right. Scoop job minus minus exe, and I have to give my job name. My job name is my job. It will ask again password. I told you. Whenever you run a scoop job or any scoop command, it will ask password. So now this is the first time scoop import is done.
But in real time, how do
This
you
is not
enter
an
the
incremental
password?
yet. So incremental we will add one more record, then we will do. So how many
Hello.
records are imported? 11. So my database table has 11 record. All 11 came. Okay. Now I check my metadata. Password. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. So now last value is changed here. 11 is coming because this last value will be used for the next incremental, right? So so first time when you create a job, there was no last value because just job is created. But now when I run the first scoop import, so what last value usually come in your scoop import command, right? So that is updated here. The last value is 11. Okay. Now I'm adding a one record here. Okay, I'm adding a one record here.
So you create a school job to address a specific operation that you need. So you can create as many as possible.
Record, you are saying?
So you create a scoop job to execute specific SQL or specific operation.
Yeah. One scoop import. You can create a multiple job, right? You can create
Yes,
n number
yes.
of
You
jobs.
can create as many as you need.
Yeah. So it is automation, right? Like you want to do automation, right? And this scoop job you can call from the shell script.
Exactly. Thank
Daily
you.
basis, your incremental load will work, right? Daily basis. Okay. So it will work. And further, you want to merge all the files because it will create a separate file, then you can merge it by using scoop merge. So here I'm running my scoop job again. I'm not writing in scoop import, right? Just I added record. I'm running my scoop import, scoop job. I'm running my scoop job. That's it. It will ask again password.
Okay, just a quick question. For example, you need to do a incremental load out, say every 1 hour, then you create a scoop job.
So that part scoop will not do, right? 1 hour, 2 hour, whatever you want. That you have to schedule to the scheduler. Scheduler will do that. See, scoop job
Okay.
purpose or scoop purpose
Okay.
is to import data, right? It's not having any scheduling. Itself is not having scheduling. Scoop doesn't have any scheduling. Okay.
Okay.
So whatever
Okay.
scheduling you want to do, you should use some cron tab or you should use Airflow or some control M, some other tools you have to use. Just call your scoop job. Okay.
So,
Done.
can you create a scoop job to do job inside a job? So
Job inside job.
I have
So
10
nested job
operations.
you want, right? One
Yes.
job inside one job. So
Yes,
what type of utility you want to do? What type of application use is there? Like what do you want? See,
I
you
have-
are saying job inside job. So what is your
Yes. I have several operations job of, and I created scoop job for each of them, but I want to run all of them once. Maybe there's merging, there's join, there's whatever. So I can run.
multiple scoop jobs
like
you
a kind of
create
master,
and then call in
like
the
a
shell
kind of
script, right?
master job.
Multiple scoop job you create and call in the shell script, right?
So I can run that as a job too. I can run a job to create a job
Oh,
to
you
run
want to
jobs.
say like, okay, one scoop import and then one job you created and job one you pass it into the scoop job two, right? Like that.
Exactly.
No, it is not like a scoop. Every scoop job is an import command, right? Every scoop job is an import command, okay?
Okay.
Separate import command. If you want to run multiple jobs together, so you create multiple jobs and call in the shell script, okay? Okay, so let's see that this one is I have first I show the metadata, okay? So this time the metadata value should be your 12, okay? Because I done the last value 12. Now let's see the folder, okay? This is my target area. Can you see here two files? One is 1009, one came at 1012, right? Okay. If I see the content. Okay, only one record is come. Okay, we go fast forward because already 1 hour is completed. Okay, so
Hello.
yeah.
Hello.
Hmm.
So in case of a real-time batch mode, who will enter the password? We can read it directly from somewhere, or
Real time, what you're asking, Dinesh?
so when you said whenever we use some command, it's always ask you to enter the MySQL password. But in a batch mode, there will not be a person to enter the password, right? It's going to be automatically has to be run. In that case, we can pass it as a
Yeah, we
parameter.
use -p option. Actually, I didn't, I forgot here. Actually, hard-coded password, generally we don't use it. Okay, there is a -p option that is prompting to you. But another option is there, option file. Actually, there is a one option file you can create. Okay, so it can take your password. So in that scenario also, it will take the password from the option file. Okay, sqoop password using option file. So option file is, or even you can do the encrypted password there. Okay, suppose nobody can see the password. Okay, so when you are doing, so there is a option file you can use, also option file option. So this minus option hyphen file. Okay, so minus option hyphen file will give you the way to take the password from your file. So you can give like this minus option file, you can keep it password here. So I think a scoop job will not give a problem for this. Okay. Okay, minus option file, or another way is -p is there, but that is also prompting. That is, you are not giving hard-coded password, but it's prompting to you. It's prompting to you, right? You enter the password. So there is a -p option. So you use generally. So any scoop import, you use the -p option. So here, like where you are using password, so this one you should not give. You should change it to capital -p, like this you use. So this will ask you the password, right? Okay, this one. Or you have option file. I will give the command for this option file. You create a separate file. Okay. Everything I'm not covering here. So option file, this option again, you can put it your password, one text file. You can keep it your same, even not username. Everything you can keep it username, password, right? And connect minus connect, all parameters it will read from this option file. Okay, if you see here, they are not giving username, they are not giving connect, they are not giving the password. Instead of that, they are using minus options for it. Okay,
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Can I execute multiple job in at a time?
Delete, I didn't try. Okay, scoop multiple job to delete. So scoop job minus delete option you are saying.
No. If I want execute the multiple scoop job, so is it possible?
Yeah, so suppose you are saying like this scoop job list is there. So you have this. So I want to scoop job minus delete.
No, it's execute.
No,
I
execute.
didn't try
execute.
this one because generally,
No.
okay, so you are
Execute.
trying like this.
Hyphen execute.
Hello.
Okay, hyphen
Hello?
delete is needed, but after that I'm giving.
Okay.
No.
But it is not. It is saying unrecognized argument job one. Second one is not picking up. Okay, if I leave it, if I remove it, and now I try, see it is deleted. So you cannot do. Okay. See, something is the whatever naming the conventions they given, right? So we have to follow that, right? If it is not there, not there, right? We cannot do anything, right? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So next thing is export. I want to just show the export also so that you can get, okay, some more commands are still there. Okay. Okay. So here, this link you can follow. Here are so many scoop import commands. Okay. So same whatever I done. Okay, but some other hive import and this one. So first we see the export one. Okay, scoop export is like I have some file in my Hadoop file system and I want to export to the table. I want to create a table out of that, right? Okay, I want to create table. Okay, so I'm giving here y two. Okay, and username, password, table, and the database, and export dir. Export dir is a directory where your file is present. So I have already imported data, right, on this directory. Okay, the file is already, this file is there. So I'm just giving. And what about this null string? Suppose any null values are there, so it will be going as a blank value. Okay, non-string value, it will take as some default value. Okay, that purpose it is. So it is not related to export. Export command is simple scoop export and same parameter, whatever parameters you given for import. So now you are giving the same parameter, connect, username, password, table. Here is the target dir. So in the import and export is having export dir. Okay, export dir. When I run this, okay, we have to create a table. Okay, so manually we have to create table. It will not create table. Okay, so it is saying the table should be present. Okay, so I create a table.
Table is created based on the export file, na?
Yeah, but see here is it's saying like the table does not exist. So it is not
Yes.
creating
Means
a table.
suppose export file contain 5 fields, 5 attributes. So we need to create 5 fields in our table.
Yes. You should know, right? You already know which data you are going to import, right? Okay.
Yes.
Export, right? So it is not giving that option. So some like in the from Hive you are doing, then it will create because then it will create. But this is you are doing from SDFS. Okay. So if I create a table, okay, or I give EMP1, same table I want to override the data. I gave EMP1 or I create a table. Okay. Then it will take.
दोन वर्षापासून बघायला
ID. ID. Now in export also there are multiple options are there, like you want to specific field only. Okay, so you don't want all the fields, you don't want. Okay, so exported 10 records. Okay, now I check my table. 2. So 10 records are exported, right? 10 records. So I can export the data. Like up now, if I want to do some insert update, also I want to do in the my MySQL table. Suppose I added some record. I added some record in my file, and I want to do. Okay, so I can use the update key option. Okay, so this is the update key option. So suppose existing record I want to update. So based on the ID. So here is the two things. If I want to just update, I will use update key and update key ID, the column name I will give on which it will do the update. Okay. But suppose I want to allow update and insert both. So there is a upsert. This is called upsert. Upsert means insert and update both is possible in a single command. So update key will remain there. Another one parameter you have to give update mode. So this is for export. Okay, this is for export. Okay, so first we try in the same table. I will do the some record. I will update it. Okay, I will update some record. So I will be taking the same location.
Is this same offset possible for sqoop import?
There is a merge, right? That I told, right? You have to do incremental load data and then you create a merge. Oh, okay, you are saying like merge key. Yeah, merge is there. There is a
Okay.
sqoop import merge option is there. So that way you can merge, like you can update. So it's a vice versa, right? Okay, that is there. Okay. So now I'm doing what? Update key ID. So some record I will modify it. I will go to the location. First, I will get the file back. Okay, I will get the file in my local. Okay, because I have to modify the file and then I will overwrite the file. Okay, so my file is in the location. Okay, so in my local, this file came. Now I will modify this file. I'm modifying data. Okay, sixth one I do. Six, I change the 10. Go back, shift Y, enter. Now again I have to write the file. Hadoop fs minus put r10 and my Hadoop directory. But before that, I have to do minus f. Otherwise, I will get the error file already exists. I will take this location. So I'm overriding the file. Now my file is updated. Okay, Hadoop fs minus get. The same file I modified. Okay, I modified with the 610. Okay, I modified the file. Now I'm doing this off. update the ID. So my column has the ID column. And table is have to change. Okay, I told you like if you are not using SSL property, right, so you will get this SSL error, but still your records are done, right? Okay, now I verify. Can you see 610 is coming? And here is a 645, right? 645 and here is a 610. So my record is updated. Okay. If you want to insert a new record also, okay, so you can add a new, you can try it. I'm not doing. So this allow insert will what it will do. So you have a column ID. So it will you if you add one more extra record, new record, right? You have 10 record, right? So you say you have 11th record you add in your file. Okay, I do. I add here one more 11th record. 11. Okay, so I added 11th record. I will Hadoop fs minus put. I have overridden. Okay, now I will use this allow an ID column employee to everything is here. Actually, I didn't use the it will not take it because I didn't use the slash. Okay, so actually this parameter has question mark SSR equal to this slash should be there because it didn't pick up because of the new language. So nothing will change. It is still the same, right? See, it is still not done. So allowance.
I have a question here though.
Mm.
Hello? The allow insert that you are having, is it at the level of the job that you allow an insert, or you have already inserted on the allow insert? What is happening?
Allow insert is a new record it will allow to insert. Okay.
That's what I'm asking. Are you putting the record at the time of the job, or the record is already in the table?
Record is where?
At what stage are you allowing the new record, the insert?
So if you want to update the table with a new record,
Yes, yeah.
I think that's when they use the allow insert.
Oh, so allow insert is adding all the records. This means right, all the records it is adding it.
Or
Because here is no primary key constraint violation. Okay, in the table, right? Okay, that is the reason it's allowing. So allow insert is adding all the records that you are asking.
I mean, allow is adding the records to the existing table.
Yeah, existing table only, right? We are trying on the existing table. Whatever table we are giving here, we are giving the same table. See, allow insert you can do in the new table anywhere you can do. It's not mandatory. See, allow insert is
no. What I'm asking is this: allow insert appending to the already existing table instead of creating a new table.
See, table we should have already there, right? Otherwise, it will give the error, right? For the new table, if I gave, the table should be there, right? That's the.
Then when you allow insert, you create it the next time. is it appending this new record to the already existing table? So if you had 10 records before and you allow inserts, import the same record, you will add another 10 to that same one.
Oh, you mean to say like if I run it again, then what it will do?
Yes. What does the allow insert do?
It will always multiple times it will allow. See, it's not any constraint is there in the table, right? If the constraint is there, table will fail. Generally, it is a one-time activity, right? Like suppose allow insert, I'm just doing insert, right? Okay. So only for the new record I want, right? But it is coming. Okay, see how many records it is saying exported 11. So again, it is added all 11 record in the table. See, it is 3 times or not?
Oh,
It
okay.
can.
Yeah, it's adding them. That's what I'm saying. Okay. So it's just
Yeah.
appending to
So
the.
it is allow. See how many records are exported. It will means it will export all the records. Like previously, insert was not there. Only update was there. Okay. Okay. When I did allow insert means it will insert the record right in the existing table.
Okay, then you answered it. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
So I should have the primary key violation, right? Then it should be failing, right? Okay. Because if some records are coming as a duplicate record, okay. Or I should remove the duplicate from the table. Like there is a group by query we can use and remove the duplicate. Those IDs are duplicate, right? So that part we can do. Okay. Okay. So okay, the 10-minute break I do and then I start the flume. Okay, actually Hive is also pending. Okay, here is a sqoop Hive import command. So sqoop Hive import is right. I want to load the data into Hive table directly. Okay, so I can specify here Hive import. Okay, Hive import, Hive database, Hive table. If I want to allow to create a table by the Hive, so Hive create table option is there. Okay, so one option will be there Hive hyphen create table, or you want to override the existing Hive table. So there is a Hive override is there. So these are the parameters we can use to create a table. Suppose I want to load the data into partition table. So partition table also we can load data. So in the partition tables, like we have to use some partition column, right? Okay, so suppose I want to write a partition key, partition value. So this partition table you have, right? You have to load the data into partition table also you can do. Okay.
What's the difference between partition key and partition? Okay, partition value. Okay, I get.
Partition by
I was saying partition key and partition value. Partition key is the field name, and the value is the actual value in the field. I get.
partition key is a partition column name, right? And partition value is like on what basis you are writing the partitions. Okay, so suppose I say gender column is a partition key, so multiple values are there, right? Like okay, so generally we use partition by clause, right? In the create table syntax in Hive, right? So create a partition. Yeah. Okay, we can create a partition table, we can write the data. Okay, so if I want to test like Hive one, so first of all, Hive we should install. Okay, Hive we should have. Okay. 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 So first, I will be okay. So this directory. So we can scoop data in partition table, but only static partition is allowed from the scoop. We cannot do the dynamic partition. Okay, dynamic partition is not allowed. So dynamic partition thing you want to do, you can do in the Hive itself. So first you load the data in your some source table, and from source table you can do login.
Hello, Arvind.
Yeah. Just tell me.
Why you use Hive tool? Hive means what purpose we have to use?
Hive is a database, right? It's a table we can have like SQL table. So what data you are importing as a files, right? So you can directly load into Hive table. And once your data in Hive table, and then you can get the data directly. So you don't need to do two-step process. Like first you load the file and then you are loading the data into Hive table. Okay. So in the two-step process, like you can avoid and you can directly import data into Hive table. So Hive is the SQL TV table, right? You can do the queries.
Intermediate tool means intermediate table
Which one?
means first of all load into the Hive table, then this table we want to load this table into the target table.
No, okay. That if you do for partition, I'm telling you, for partition you have to do. Suppose you have one, okay, you have some countries data you have, right? Okay, so you have a different countries, okay, and now you say for a specific country data you want to add, right? So here, so you have to static partition only you can allow. So suppose you have a 5 cities data you have, okay, city 1, city 2, city 3, city 4, and city 5. How many times you have to run the scoop import? For every cities you have to do one time, right? So
Yes.
instead of that, what we can do, the entire data of 5 cities I will load into Hive table first. Load data into Hive table from MySQL, okay, using
Okay.
scoop. So you will get all the 5 cities data in the Hive table, five
Yes.
cities data. Now you have there is a dynamic partition is there, dynamic partition in Hive that will load data into your partitions. You can load, right? So city 1, city 2, you can do. So dynamic partition is not directly allowed. Okay. So suppose you have a less number of partitions, then you can go with scoop. Manually, you can load the data into the
Less
partition.
number of partition. Okay.
Right. Like gender is the case, right? Male, female. So you can load the data, right? So
Okay.
just one example. So here you can try when this example. So here I done but you have to give 2 extra parameters, partition key and partition value. Then it will understand this partition key, you have this partition value. And also when you are selecting the data, you should tell in the query also, if you have not given this parameter, what will happen? All the data will go in one partition, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
this kind of mistakes generally happens in the when you are loading the data into Hive partition table. If you are not specifying the where clause, right? When you are loading manually in static partition, dynamic partition, there will be no chance of mistake, right? Because you are not handling that dynamic partitioning that Hive is handling. Okay, automatically it will load the data. But in case of static partition, you have to give in the source what data you want. If you are not telling that, the entire data will go in a one partition. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yes.
that for that mistake, like we can avoid. Okay. Okay, I covered the flume. Okay, I just start in 10 minutes. So I start the flume and I have to cover hbase also. Okay, let's see.
Okay. Thank you.
So in this video, I'm going to explain what Kubernetes is. We're going to start off with the definition to see what official definition is and what it does. Then we're going to look at the problem solution, case study of Kubernetes, basically why did Kubernetes even come around.
Yeah, hi everyone. Are you able to hear me? Hello.
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, able to hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Flume, right? We have to download. We have to go. Okay. Configure Flume in open. We can download the tar file. Okay. We can download the tar file. So we download the tar file, and this tar file we can unzip it and we can set the Flume home path. Okay. So how can we test Flume ng command? We have to run the Flume ng command. Okay. So first I start what is the Flume basically? So Flume is ingestion tool similar to the sqoop. Okay. But this ingestion tool is basically bringing the unstructured and semi-structured data. Unstructured and semi-structured data. Semi-structured data is like a file, like a CSV, JSON, XML. These kind of files data we can bring into the Hadoop file system. Okay. So there is a spool dir is there. Dir is a source type. I will tell about that. The spool dir is basically used for importing files. Okay, as a semi-structured data, semi-structured file. And unstructured data also we can import. So streaming data also we can import, right? Streaming data from the Twitter. So one example is there for the Twitter. So Twitter streaming data we can bring it into the Hadoop file system as JSON file, as JSON files. JSON files we can import. Okay. So in the Flume, there are the three components. Okay, one is the source, channel, and sink. Source, channel, and sink. Source is different types of source are there. So I can say source is the one is the command line source is there. Like suppose I'm running some command. Okay, some tail command or cat command. So that is the one type of. So I can get the output of that, and then I can store in a file, or I can store as a I can show as a output. Okay. So source are different sources there. Like Kafka is a source, Twitter is a source, Twitter is a source. Okay. And Avro file data I'm reading. So Avro is a source. There are the different types of categories of the sources are there. Okay. And channel is the medium, right? Here is a file channel, memory channel, and JDBC. Even this Flume can do the SQL database. We can import into the files, JDBC channel. JDBC channel, like we can bring the SQL database data into the file. Okay, using the JDBC channel. But mostly we use the semi-structured data and unstructured data. So file channel is the data is transferred through file. Memory channel is the data is transferred to the memory. Okay, and sink is a destination. Destination, target, like it could be SDFS sync. So SDFS sync is the final destination is your Hadoop distributed file system, or we have like a Kafka sync also. Kafka sync, Avro sync. So some are the same as a source and same is a sync. Okay, we can use. Okay, but generally we are using the source is different and sync is different. Okay, so I'm reading the data from some source and writing the data to the some target. Okay, so how to work in the Flume basically? So Flume we have to write one configuration file. So Flume has the one Flume ng command. Okay, I show you some example of Flume commands. Okay, so we have to write a one Flume configuration file. So in the Flume configuration file, I have to write this configuration. So suppose I want to transfer the file from my local file system to Hadoop file system. So I created a one file name is dir.conf, and this configuration file I created a configuration. This configuration is actually this all source channel sync is the part of agent. Okay, source, channel, and sync are inside the wrapper of agent. Okay, so agent is the wrapper for these all three. So how we are creating a property? So agent some agent name I'm giving. Okay, I'm giving some agent name, and agent1 dot sync, I'm giving a sync name. Agent1 dot sources, I'm giving a source one. Suppose we have a multiple sources are there, so I will write agent1 dot sources source one, agent1 dot sources equal to sources two. And again, further properties we need to define. Suppose I want to define all the source properties. How I will do? Agent1 sources source one, whatever my source name, dot type. Dot type is what type of this flume ingestion is there. It's a source type is a spool dir. Spool dir is like when I have a local file system, this is my local home directory. Some files are present in this directory. It will be loaded into the Hadoop file path. So when I want to define the SDFS sync, so type is a SDFS sync type. And I have to define the role size, role count, and what type of format of the data is there, text format, and it's a data stream. So this all properties you can copy paste, right? The main important properties are these two properties. So one is the type of the sync and what is the path of the SDFS where you want to copy your file. So suppose this directory you should have, but this directory should be a new directory. Okay, so this directory you are creating a new directory for copying your file. And whenever your files are copied, every file is changed to the dot completed extension suffix. The suffix will add it. So when your files are copied, your suffix will be added dot completed. Okay, and what is the command to run this configuration file? The command is flume ng command. So you have to run the command like this. Flume ng, the agent is the name of the, like this is the property name agent, and the agent name is the agent1. And you are providing the configuration file path, right? You are saying this is my configuration file and I want to run this file. So this is nothing programming here. It is just configuration. I just same thing I can do with the Hadoop fs minus put command, right? Hadoop fs minus copy from local. Okay, but I want to do through the flume. I can do with the flume using the spool dir. Okay, so I will show this option, right? I will show this configuration file and I will show, right, how to run this. Yeah. So flume, your main important thing is you have to prepare a configuration file. You have to prepare configuration file. So in my flume, if I go to flume installation folder, here is the conf. Inside the conf, I have already created my flume configuration file. So one is a spool dir conf is there. So I'm showing you my directory from where I'm loading the data. So here I created one spool dir. So this file is already copied. Okay, so I just take it some other file. Right. This file I will so I'm deleting and I'm copying this new file. Okay, this is my home location. I want to copy this file to the Hadoop file system. So it will be creating a one single file. All the files output one come in the one single file. Okay, so now I will be running my flume ng. How to check? Just you type flume -ng. If you have set the flume home path and bin path, so you can check here nano bash rc. Just go here, set the flume path, right? Flume home and flume path. So flume home and flume bin path I set it. Okay, and after that I run my ng. So this command is showing like you can run this command. Okay, so I will run this command. So this dot is showing my current directory. Okay. So dot is showing my current directory, but my conf file folder is in the software folder. That's it. So this is also running on the $shell. Okay, same like a sqoop command. Okay, so it is not able to find this.
The configuration file we created, we have to put it inside.
You can keep it anywhere. It's not like path could be anywhere, okay, but configuration content should be correct, okay. So if I go to my CD software, configure, it started. Okay, so this is, so your configuration path should be correct. So we will see that these files are completed so quickly, right? All files are changed to completed, correct? Now I verify, I control and Hadoop fs minus. I have to check in my configuration file. I give in the target location. Check this directory. Flume is just very easy. Just you should know the configuration. Directory. The first directory should be present already, right? Okay, but it is showed here the complete. Okay, now something came here. This directory, right? Okay, this is just rename. Okay. What about Hadoop? Who dir Flume one? Oh, okay. I checked this configuration. Actually, I have modified in this file or not. Okay, in this file, I'm just giving this one, Flume 4. Okay, so how it will do? Okay. Flume 1, 2. Yeah. Yeah. Why is that here? Because FL. Yeah, now it came. Weekly file was not saved. Okay, so Hadoop access and so I check. Okay. So this is a file. It has the content of yeah. Whatever files are there, this is the content. So this is the school dir. This is the one example. Okay. And other example is like Twitter example. Okay, so Twitter development account is not working, but I will show you the properties. So Twitter conf file I created. Here is the source is a Twitter type, and channel is a memory channel, and sync is the SDFS. So here I'm specifying, and the Twitter type is source type, Twitter source. So Twitter source, I'm giving a Twitter source. But Twitter, when you want to get the data, you should have 4 keys: consumer keys, consumer secret, access token secret. So these keys you will find in the Twitter development account. Okay. And you will give the keywords on which you want to get the tweets. So you can give the keywords. Okay. And SDFS path, you are telling about what is my Hadoop path where I want to get my Twitter data. Okay. So this is all properties are same, all other properties. And memory channel is a memory type channel. And capacity, you are saying like memory channel is 10,000. Okay. And here the last one, you are attaching your memory channel to your source. Source to memory channel and sync to memory channel. So this is making it tunnel. Okay. So initially you have a 3 component, right? Source, channel, and sync. And then this properties, these last 2 properties are making it association of your source to channel and sync to channel. Okay. And what is the command here? Flume ng agent, and this is for log purpose. Okay. And minus conf, you are giving twitter.conf, and then you are giving the Twitter agent. The Twitter agent is the agent. For this, I have defined the property. So I can run this Twitter conf file. So this when I run this, so you will start getting the data from the Twitter as a JSON data. Okay. Another example is there, sequence generator, right? I want to run a sequence generator. I want to generate a sequence number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. So here is the source is a sequence type. Source is a type sequence, and SDFS type is a SDFS thing. Okay. So suppose I want to modify, I want to get the data in some Hadoop file system folder, I can get it. Okay. So same way I can run my sequence generator. Software, Flume, and there is a conf file. So sequence generator conf file is there. So I will change my Hadoop path, so it will not give me the error 1, 2. Okay. and rest of the things will remain same. Okay. I will run the flume ng command. Okay, so here I will change to count sequence generator count. And what is the agent name? The agent name is the sequence generator agent. This agent name I have to change. Yeah, so it is generating the data, it will not stop, you have to manually stop. So here I can check data. So one sequence generator, right? Sequence generator data. That's it. You will get the file. So here you can see so many files are created here. So we can see in one of the file you will get the sequence number. Get the Okay, so this is the sequence generator. Another one is the execute command, right? You can execute any tail command, get command result. You want to get into the Hadoop file system. So here you can do, right? Like I want to get the content of this tail command file, this abc.file, and this file I want the content in the Hadoop file system. This is I'm using the memory channel. Okay. Like save the file. I simply run this. Yeah. What is my agent name here? My agent name is execute. One more folder is created. This flume 00. See the so in this folder, I have got this file. This file has my tail command result. Hadoop app with my cat. These are very quick examples, just to if you understand this way we can get the data. Okay. So this is the one example, and another one is the netcat. Netcat example is like when you want to use telnet, suppose your network, you are typing something, okay, and you have some port 9999, okay, so you are using telnet and you are giving some input, and that output will input will come as the output in your memory channel. Here is I'm using not SDFS sync, I'm using a logger sync. So logger sync is basically showing you the output on the server console. Okay, so it will show the console, but you have to start the telnet. Okay, so for telnet, right, you have to start So this is a sequence generator. And one more example is this. Netcat. So netcat example, so you have to start some telnet and then you can use this command. Okay, so this is all about flume. You can go more in the flume here in the tutorial point website. These all examples are there. You can go through it. Like you can understand like this netcat. So fetching the Twitter data, okay, sequence number generator, right? These examples are here. Okay. So some more in-deep concept are there like event handling, or those are there, multiplexer. So those are all in-depth concepts are there. Flume, but mostly Flume are not used. We use a Spark, right, for ingestion of the semi-structured data or Twitter data, right? We can easily do streaming data. There is a Spark Kafka streaming, right? So we don't need Flume, but if we don't have a Spark, so we can go for Flume for some specific purpose where I don't want to do more customization. Okay. So when I want to do more customization in my code, I can go for Spark. I will not go for Flume. So Flume is just simple event handling mechanism, like where you want to get the data from the source and bring the data to the target. So for that purpose, we can use the Flume. Okay. And Flume can be integrated with Spark also. So Flume is so some advantage and disadvantage. Flume is having like the custom code writing you cannot do. Okay. And multiple sources also you can read data parallelly also. So those kind of event handling we can do. Okay, so there is a concept of fan in, fan out is there. Okay, so if multiple source to bring data into one single channel sync, or multiple like one source to you want to write the data to the multiple sync. Okay, so that concept is fan in, fan out is there. Okay, so fan in, fan out concept is there. Many sources to one channel, right? So fan in, right? One source to multiple channels is the fan out. So there is a replicating and multiplexing, right? Error handling, like sometimes your events are not received, right? So some failure event handling you can. Okay, I will share these examples. You can practice. So can at least 5 examples if you are able to run. Okay, so Twitter, you need a Twitter development account. You have to, okay, some issues are there, right? If you just create a development account, no need to create a development account. You have already your Twitter account. You go to your Twitter account and you can create your access key, secret key. And one day, I think they take for authentication. Once they verified your account, and then they will, if you are showing them like you are looking for this development account for the only for accessing keys to get the Twitter data for non-commercial purpose, so they will allow. Okay, so you can get those consumer key, secret key, access taken and access token secret, and then you can define in your configuration file these all authentication keys and define the keywords, so it will bring the data from that so Twitter source. So anyone has any question on this? This next topic I'm going to start Hive. Oh, hbase. I'm going to start the next one is hbase. It's just in 5 minutes I will start. I start. So I'm going to start the next topic in 5 minutes. If that next topic. HBase is a database. But the HBase architecture, right? So we have different components are there. So one is a master server, one is a server. Master server is the sort of region servers are the same. So different region servers are associated with the master. But the zookeeper is here is the coordination service between the master and server for providing the higher. Say any server is down to master is down to node. It has an architecture. So whenever the client is sending a request, the master is asking the right that basically the further client communication to the data files, right? So whenever files you are writing, the client is writing query. The HBase we are doing the query, right? We are doing, getting the data from the node people. Okay. So there is the write add log is there. That is not there in the diagram. There is the one temporary area is there between the server. So here is the write add log. Write add log is the temporary area where the data is temporary before going to the business server. So every business server has memory storage area and one like storage area, like the disk file. So this H log file, H file.
Can you please order?
Oh, hello. You are getting the voice? Hello.
Yes, now it's better. Yeah.
Okay. So, so I was talking about the HBase architecture. So how can you explain the HBase architecture? So we have the client is requesting to the queries, right, in the HBase tables, right? So HMaster will be the interface point that will be redirecting to the whenever you are writing something, suppose you are writing some data right into the table, right? So the data will be written to the temporary storage area that is wall, write add log. So this write add log is the temporary storage area, write add log. So write add log. So this write add log, the data will be temporarily stored and then it will be written to the HBase. The final disk file is a H file. This H log you are able to see here. This is the disk storage file. Okay. So there are the memory storage area there in each region server. So when the memory storage area is full, then the data will be shuffled. It will be refreshed to the disk file. Okay. So that is the way like the HBase works. Okay. So HBase is a column-oriented file format data, right? Database. It is using the column families. So group of columns together create a single column family. So suppose I have one address column is there. Okay, an address column family. Column family. I have multiple columns are there. Like I have street is there, city is there, country is there, zip code is there. So this all columns will come into one column family, that is the address column family. So when I'm creating a table, I say I want to create a employee table, right? So I will create a number of column family. I say create EMP and I say first column family is my personal detail column family. And then second column family, I want to create a address column family. So here is no relationship in the HBase. Okay, there is no relationship like one to one, one to many, many to many. So when you on the HBase shell, you will simply write this command. Okay, first of all, like HBase, how to install? Like you are installing you are installing HBase manually on the Ubuntu. So some set of steps you have to do. So first is you just wget command, you just find which HBase version you want to use, right? Suppose I want to use the HBase 2.5.3, okay? So you go to the website, HBase download, okay? And then you will find the release, which release you are going to do. So 2.54 version, you can take it. 3 point is the alpha version, right? So this is not a stable version. So you can take it this version and bin tar file. SRC. So we don't need to take SRC. So we use this So this here I'm just changing the version. So whatever variable I set it will download this wget command. It will download the tar file for this particular 2.5.3 hbase version. And once I download it, so here I will not move it to the software. Okay, earlier we have done all the installation in the software, but this installation we will do in the user local hbase. So user local directory is already there in Ubuntu. Okay, I show you in my case user local directory. Okay. So you go here, cd usr local hbase, the capital cd hbase. Okay, so this is my installation directory. So whatever you rename it to, okay, and copy to the USR local. This hbase directory, rename it to hbase, okay, and then you copy into the USR local. Okay, so once you are able to copy, this, right, then nano you set the home path. So what will be your path? USR local hbase, okay, and bin path. So this path you will set into the bash rc. Next thing you have to do, in hbase env.sh file is there. So there you have to set your Java home path. So this path you have to set it in your the installation directory. When you go to the USR, 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 what? USR, okay, hbase env.sh. So hbase env.sh. cd con. Okay. Here is hbase env.sh is there. Okay. If you see nano hbase env.sh, this file I have already added my entry export Java. So this entry you have to do. Okay, this entry you have to do hbase env.sh and hbase site.xml. These two folders you create on the Hadoop. Okay, this is the some Hadoop directory you are creating, right? This is a Hadoop directory and there is a hbase and h file. So this directory you create, and then if hbase site.xml will be there, otherwise you create hbase site.xml. So this is a vi hbase site.xml. Okay, in this hbase site.xml, add that configuration. You see this configuration I added. So you just added the same configuration. Whatever configuration is given here, just add the same configuration. And after that, you go to the root directory. This is very important because hbase will not start. So you go to the root, your root folder, and then you start the hbase. Okay, I'm showing you. I will go to su. Now I will go to my cd usr local hbase. Okay. Here I will start hbase dot. Okay. So you start this, exit it, come out, and now you just do hbase shell. Hbase shell. Yeah. So your hbase will. Okay. So first you have to start the service of hbase, and then you have to. So now if I do list command, I will see how many tables are there. I have already 3 tables. Okay, so employee 1, employee 2. So what is the command? Scan command. Scan in single code I'm giving employee. So there is no data. Okay, so let's just show one by one. So hbase shell list command, and suppose I want to create a new table. Okay, I want to create a table employee 3, and this is the column family. I want to create with this family a new table, and then I do list. I'm getting here the employee 3. So it's hbase shell commands are there. So these hbase shells. So two ways you can connect to the hbase. One is okay. So one is like you can connect to the hbase using the terminal, right? You can use the hbase shell. Another one is hbase Java admin API. Or another one more way is there hbase thrift server. So thrift is a very common protocol, right? Which is connecting to cross platforms, right? So thrift is in the Hive is also having thrift. hbase is also having thrift. Spark is also having the thrift. So thrift like or you can connect through the REST API also. So there are the multiple ways are there. REST API is a one way. Thrift server is a one way. Another one is hbase thrift server and hbase REST API, hbase shell command, and hbase Java admin API. So Java admin API you have to write a Java code. So you have to write a Java code for that. Okay. So I was talking about the hbase tutorial here, tutorial point hbase. So here okay. So if I want to create a table, so I just showed you the create table command, right? So you can simply do create emp personal data. Okay. Suppose I'm going to create a table. So you can create table and then you want to insert the data into table. So you can create it. Create data is there is a put API is there. So put function API is basically used for two purposes. So if you see every row in the hbase is identified by the row key. So row key is a unique key that is uniquely identify your row in the hbase. So hbase is having dynamic schema because there is no strict schema like a SQL table, right? If you want to insert the personal data for a one particular employee ID, you can insert. If you don't have the data for the professional data for the employee ID one, so you don't need to insert. So it is not a mandatory, right? In the SQL, right? If you are not inserting data for a specific column, it automatically goes null, right? But in case of HBase, it's a dynamic schema. So on the fly, when you are writing data, it will decide it, right? Whether you want to insert data for particular row or not, or particular column family you want to insert data, you can decide. Okay. So I will use the put API. So put API here, I'm just saying my table name, I'm saying row ID. I'm saying row ID, row key, that is I'm specifying like for which row and which column family and which column family and which column in the column family, which column in the column family, and I want to write a specific value. So this is a hard coded data. So, but huge amount of records you cannot write like this way. So you have to use hbase Java admin API. So if you see there is a Java API is there. So you can use you can read the data from file and you can write the data dynamically. So here you can write a programmatic way. So programmatic way when you are writing, so you have to make a connection with the hbase table. So you are specifying h table, your Java class is there. Put is a one class is there. You are preparing the data. So this all data you can prepare dynamically in the loop. You can prepare in the loop, for loop you can prepare, and you can read the data from the Java object, right? So list of objects you have, and you can write the data in the loop and then it will write. So here also hard coded because they are writing only single record. But suppose I want to write this record like multiple times for the different values, right? So I can use the for loop and I can iterate my Java object and I can write it into the dynamically as a variable I can pass, right? So this is the Java way like we can do hbase Java admin API. But suppose just I have to use command. So I can simply write small data for testing purpose I can do in the manually. So I can write it with the one put command. So here I have to change my table. Okay. This is a one record. Like this is I'm inserting for row ID 1 and column family having a column and column has a data. Again, this put, suppose I want to update the data. So if your data is already existing and you want to change it to like some other value, okay, for the same column family, and you want to update. So this is now update. So basically you have already the column family, particular column and particular row ID, you have a data, but now you do scan EMP4. So when you say only scan only, so it will bring you the all data. So now can you see the updated data you are getting? Okay. So you want to all history version, so you have to just use some other attribute to get history data, right? So you can get all the fields data, all the history data, you can get it. So this is a row 1. Row 1, you have a column family, personal data, and personal data has column name, and you are getting the data of that person column family, column data. But if specific, you cannot do, right? You have to use get function. In that case, you have to use get. So get is basically you want to tell, okay, I want to get a specific column family data, a specific row ID, and a specific column family data. So in that case, you will give the more precise way. You will be giving. So there is a get you can give.
What is
So
it?
in the
50?
get you can either you give column, you can give the table and
Arvind?
row ID. So for this particular row ID, all column family data will come. If you say read a specific column in the column family, so you can give like this. So you can write like this. Like you can tell column, the column family. So here you can tell, I want this, the
Arvind,
proper ID. If it is stopped, right?
hello,
It is any.
hello.
Yes, yeah.
Can you scroll up? What is it? 50 in that when you scan EMP4?
Okay, what you are saying? Okay, again I okay.
So we inserted one. Where is that 50 coming from?
This 50 is a value, right? When I did the put command, right? So I'm inserting the data for this particular column family and column. Okay. So I inserted data right here, the put command right here. When I use the put command, right? The put API is there. When I'm writing the data. Yeah, here. When I'm just specifying.
There's no 50 in it, right? We inserted one and personal data Raju. That's it.
Oh, this 50 is a timestamp one. No. Okay. This is the timestamp, not the value.
Okay.
Value is there.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
Value is yeah. This is the part of the timestamp, right? Part of
Okay.
time.
When it comes, I thought it's a value.
Yeah, value
and-
is this. Yeah. So this is like once we created record, right? If I want to read data, there is a get. If you want to scan the whole table, no matter how many rows are there, everything will come as a scan of the whole table. But get is specific row ID, or you can give specific row ID. You give all column family will come. If you want to get a specific column families column you give, so you will get the particular column. Okay. So you can get it like column family column of this is the personal data. Actually, the column, okay, when I give this, so my column family name was wrong. So my column family name was personal data. If anything is wrong here now, so it will come out. Okay. So personal space data. Okay. Personal data. The same. Inspected identifier. Person. Something syntax problem. Okay, so when we are giving like this, it will give the result like this. So suppose I'm giving personal column family and column name, I will get that value Raju. I'm getting that. Okay. So same thing we can do with the hbase admin API. So hbase admin API, like I will define my configuration, and then I will create a h table, and then I will say here get API class. So get class, I'm creating a like I'm passing my row ID, and I'm just passing this row get I'm passing into the table, so I'm getting the result. And then I'm just iterating the which column family I want and which column I want. I can specify, and then it's a little complicated, right? Like writing code, but it is for bulk data reading, right? Suppose I want to read the data programmatic way, and I want to get this data, and I want to write the data to some other downstream system, right? So I can do that way, because command line you can't do, right? Command line you just testing, right? You can do just test the data, you can read data, you can verify data, whether the data is there or not in the table, or you can put the data. So your commands, you can verify whether the commands are working or not. But if you are real time, you want to use this data to somewhere else, and you want to send this data, so you can create a list of object data. You can create a Java list, and then you can pass it to data to some other downstream system you can send. Okay, so that is the purpose of the using the programmatic way. Okay, but programmatic way, you need a complete project. You have to create a one Maven project, and you have a dependency Maven form dependency jars, and using this all configuration. Python also code is there. Python also you can write it, like Python libraries are there. So hbase is supporting Java, Python. So different libraries you can use. So whatever way you want to connect, you can do. Okay. And hbase we can write the data from the Spark also. So in that case, like suppose I'm using PySpark, with Spark Scala or Spark Java. So that particular API's class we will use. So when we are using PySpark, so PySpark connector libraries we use. So different connectors are there for different programming languages, right? So Scala, Java, right? So we have to use that connector jar. Okay, so that connector jar we have to use. Okay. So if I want to drop a table, so we have to disable a table. Okay, so we need to disable table first, and then we can drop. So if I'm trying to drop table here, drop emp4. So drop table. So drop table, drop a table. Okay. This table is there. Oh, I was not giving in the single quote. So these are the things, right? Like properly you are not giving the syntax, right? So you will get, see, now it will be. So like always use the single quote, right? Because it should be properly, right, given in the syntax. So like table is enabled, right? So I have to disable the table. Disable emp4. Now table is disabled. Now if I do drop emp4, now table is drop, and if I do list, I'm not finding the emp. Okay. So this disable drop all command, right? So like I can, with a regular expression, right, I can use to drop all the table which is starting with the like T. So this way we can do, right, regex or anything we can. And Java API also we can do. So Java API same command like disable table command is there, and then we can delete table command. So delete table method or disable table. So we can do. Okay. And I can check whether the table exists or not exists. So this is the simple command, right? Just checking the table is exists or not exists. Okay. And listing we already seen, enabling, disabling table. Describe and alter command. Suppose you want to add a new column family, new column family you want to add, or new column in the column family you want to add. So we can use the alter command. So alter table, and then we can give, and there, I want to change, I want to change my some permissions kind of things I want to keep it. I read only option, I want to make it my table. So that can do. Okay. So you can see in my notes, okay, here, this one, I just downloaded a lot of this command related. Okay. So Java admin API, you can leave it. Main important is like a command, like hbase shell command, right? So disable command, disable all command. Okay. And enabling the table. So is enabled is checking it whether the table is enabled or not. So it will return the true or false. Okay, so that we can check using the is enabled. Alter table command, and you can check the table is exist or not exist. Okay, dropping table. Okay, drop tables commands are there. Manipulations command like create, truncate, and scan. So truncate command is you will not get back your data, right? So same like logic is there in the SQL. Like truncate, you can not roll back the data, but in case of delete, you can roll back data. Okay, so there are the three APIs. Add. So put is used for the insert of add only for insert, but put can be used for insert or update depending on the ID is present. Like whatever data is present, so it will update. If data is not present, it will behave like a insert. Okay, so that is basically put command we can use. Okay, and updating data also use the put. Reading data, there is a two methods, scan and get. Scan for the whole table, but get is specific table and row ID, and specific row ID and row column family you can get the data through the get command. Okay, so get command is a specific data you want to read, and the scan is for the whole table data you want to scan. Delete also, like delete records, you can delete the records. So delete all table and row ID. You can specific row ID you can delete. So you can specify if you don't give the row ID, so enter all the row IDs will be deleted, all column family and row IDs. So here is the hierarchy is table, and table has the row IDs, and row IDs are associated with the column families. Okay, so column families data, right? Like particular row ID, all column family data will go away, right? Okay, if you are giving only row ID, if you are not giving row ID, so entire table data will go. Okay, so scanning also. Okay, count, like you want to do select count star. So this one is here the count. So count and table you give, so you will get the count. Okay, truncate table. So truncate will automatically do disable. Okay, so drop table you do, it is it is asking to you disable first. But in case of truncate, it will automatically do disable and then truncate the table. Okay, so you will not found the table. Okay, and this admin API. Okay, so what is a MEM store? MEM store is a memory area. It is a storage area within the region server, and H file I talked about, right? So H file is the like a Hadoop distributed file system copy where your actual data is stored on the SDFS. Okay, so MEM store is a memory area. When the memory area is full, MEM store is full. So if you see here, like here a region server having the MEM store, right? So this MEM store area is full, then the data will be written to the H file. H file is the Hadoop file system copy, right? So wall, I told about this wall, right? So following, okay, so MEM store that has not yet been flashed crashes. So write head log is a temporary area, like where the initially the data comes first. Okay, before writing to the region server, the data is stored in the wall, write head log, and then write head log is writing data to the MEM store in the regions, and then finally it will be written to the H file. Okay, so that is the way to write the data. Okay, and compression techniques also there, right? So HBase is using compression. There is a minor and major compaction is there. Okay, so that is also possible. In the same Hive also has a major and minor compaction. HBase is having writing data through the MapReduce job also we can write through the HBase. So HBase, when we are writing, so input format and output format we define for HBase. So HBase has like when you are using the MapReduce job, so MapReduce job is use input format and output format. So input format is like DB input format, and output format is a DB output format. So we have to provide the for hbase. Okay. So input format, output format. And security, we can provide the Kerberos authentication. So Kerberos is one like authentication and authorization mechanism, right, for running a command. So there is a kinit command is there to initialize your Kerberos, and klist command to see your security key, and kinit command generally we do when we are running any command, right, any Hadoop command or any Spark submit command. So we have to run that kinit while we are performing any command. Okay, so role-based Kerberos authentication is there. So hbase is providing also the security through the Kerberos, right? So we can configure the Kerberos. So we have to add some Kerberos authentication in the hbase site.xml. Okay, so there is a configuration file we have to add the authorization and authentication. Okay. And access control list, right? Access, like you can define the row-based access, right? You can define who will be accessing your hbase tables. So that kind of ACLs you can define permissions, right? You can define the user-based, the role-based access. So grant permission. So even some commands are there. hbase shell command is there, grant, and this you can see here in the tutorial point there. This grant and this security. If you go here, the security. So you can see the grant permission. So revoke permission. So you want to take the permission back, right? So I have given the tutorial point like user given this permission RWXCA. So this all the privileges are there. So I can assign privileges. Generally, it is in the cluster, right? So in the local, we can test it, but we have to have this Kerberos like or like ACLs, right? So we have to configure, right? We have to configure in our configuration files. We have to configure it, and then we can give accordingly the user permissions and those things. We can grant permission, revoke permissions. Okay. And what is the difference between the hbase and RDMS? So RDMS is the basically a SQL database following the ACID property, and hbase is following the CAP. CAP is consistency, availability, and partition tolerance. This is very important for the hbase. And not only hbase, it's for any NoSQL database. So any NoSQL database, right? So if you see the hbase is coming in the category of CP. So consistency and partition tolerance. So if I say hbase, Mongo, Redis, so these are the CP. And if I say Cassandra, DynamoDB, CouchDB, these are AP. So any two properties will be followed by the any NoSQL database. So there are the different types of NoSQL database categories are there. So one is a JSON document. So if you search NoSQL databases type, so there are the different categories are there. Document databases are there, key values are there, column oriented are there, graph DBs are there. So there are the different types of categories are there. Key value pair like Cassandra is there. Okay, column oriented, you can say column family like hbase is there. Graph database is the new code is there in this category. So these are the different category of the, and JSON document is your Mongo. So Mongo is the CouchDB, and this one is a Mongo. These are the document databases, right? They can store the data as a document. So these are the category of the databases of the NoSQL, and NoSQL databases are following the CAP. So any particular NoSQL database should have at least two properties, minimum two properties should be there. Consistency, availability, partition tolerance. So hbase comes in this category in the CP. Okay. So we have the hbase is the, okay. So you install hbase and then you can practice these commands. Okay. So there are the other client APIs. Okay. And if you want to see hbase REST API, like how can we access the hbase table through the REST command? So you remember, right? Last time we did the Hadoop distributed file system REST. So these Hadoop components are exposed by the REST services also. So they have given a alternative options, right? Like how can you access your hbase, right? You can access through the Java APIs. So you have to write a Java project. If you want to access through hbase shell, so you have to use a terminal shell, and there you can write the command, and you can Suppose you want to write a SQL queries for the HBase, there is a Phoenix Squirrel tool is there. Okay, so if you want to write a SQL query as a SQL query type for the HBase, so Phoenix, this is a Phoenix. Okay, so this tool is giving a client interface as a SQL query. So you can write a SQL support, right? You can write a SQL query, it will be converted into the HBase query language. Okay, so you will be writing when you want to write a select star from table. So it will do the scan there. It will, if you are doing the select star from table where clause, so it will be using the get. So it internally converting the queries into the that particular shell command. Okay, it will be converting and get the result. But here you are using the SQL query interface. So you can write your SQL queries, and that is the interface is given by the Phoenix. Okay, so that is basically a SQL back to in NoSQL. Okay, generally NoSQL is not supporting the SQL query interface, but Cassandra has. Cassandra has the SQL query interface. So Cassandra is completely SQL query. So you can write as SQL queries in the Cassandra. Okay, but Cassandra has so many other things are there. Cassandra can store the collections also, like we can store the list, map. Okay, those so you can go through the Cassandra tutorials also, Cassandra and Mongo. So when I will tell next time like the Cassandra and Mongo, right? So you can learn, right? Cassandra and Mongo. So Cassandra, Mongo both are NoSQL database, so you can see the Cassandra tutorial and then go through it like Cassandra shell command, creator. So here is the terminology is the key space. Is a database is called key space. And Mongo is a Mongo database, but there is a table is called collection. So this is a different terminologies in the different NoSQL database. So if you want to understand like how to install first, and then you can do command line. This is a command line shell, right? So CQLSS shell is there. Cassandra query language shell. There you can write queries, but this is completely SQL. So if you are aware of SQL, if you know the SQL, so just create a key space as a database, and then after you can write SQL queries, right? You can create table and then specify the primary key, and then you can write the data, update data. Some more additional features are there. You can write the collections. So here again, the relationship is not there. Any NoSQL database is not providing relationship. Either you are using Mongo, Cassandra, HBase, there is no relationship, no table relationship is there. So they are providing embedded relationships. The embedded relationship is there. In the table itself, you have the collections. Like in the Mongo, you have embedded collections you can write. Here in the list also, you can write as a collection. You can. So you are creating a table. In the table, you are specifying the list type of collection, or you are creating a set type of collections or map type of collections. So you are creating in the table. Okay. So HBase also, like you are not, here is a column family is the way, right? The column family is you are providing the relationship for the other collections, right? You can write it through column family. You can write nested data when you want to write. Okay. Anyone and any question has, right? So this HBase practice, you can, I will give this also a set of command. Okay. First, you need to install HBase, and HBase thrift server also there. This. So REST API command. Okay, I was showing you actually. API. So there is some connectors are there, right? HBase REST client for Java or Python. And the curl command also REST. Like I want to know how many tables are there, and filter also there. Actually, I didn't talk about the filter. Okay, so filter also, like filter means where clause. So there are the different types of filters are there, right? Single column value filter. Okay, but HBase shell writing shell command is very tough. This is a curl command. So just curl command, what I'm giving here, I'm giving my REST API port. Okay, my host where my HBase is installed, table name I'm giving, and I'm just giving a command. Okay, similar way like I do the command for like SDFS, right? REST curl command. So similar way we can give. And what is the filter? So filter, like there are the different types of where clause filters we can use. Okay, So let's yeah. So filters where clause. So if you have single column value filter, so suppose you want to get specific column value. So first of all, you have to import your Java class, import Java class, okay, for the filter, right? Compare filter, binary comparator. So these classes you have to import, and this is the way you have to write a filter. So scan table filter single column value filter, and then you say new byte. You remember, right? In the hbase Java admin API, we write like this way, right? New byte. So byte is a class, and we are just changing this to byte. Okay, so 2 bytes is a function. So I'm telling here this is a column family office, and the column name is name. I want to get the data of this name is equal, and I'm saying the value is this Jeff. So this is the entire filter command I need to write. Then I will get the data. Okay. So this way, this is a one single column value filter means only one single value you want to compare it. The single column value filter. Range filter is there. There are many different types of filters there. Okay. So there are the different filters clause is there. We can use it. Yeah. Okay. So anything, any question anyone has? So flume, hbase, and sqoop. Okay, so these three, or you can use the ready-made VM. Okay, there you can have everything. Okay, so you have all links of that VM. Okay, so that VM you can directly import in the virtual box. Okay, it's a Ubuntu only, and there you will get all the Hive and sqoop, hbase, all the latest version are there. Okay, so if you
Arvind,
don't
I have
want
a
to
quick
install,
question.
hmm.
So if I want to go ahead with the Kerberos authentication, right? So for that, do we need to install any other packages, additional packages?
See, Kerberos is like it is the configuration thing is there. Okay, I'm not sure because this is mostly admin thing. Okay, we generally get the Kerberos command, right? Like, okay, this command is there, like Kerberos username, like init command, and we get okay @ server, and we have a key tab file. So there is a one key tab, there is a principal file. So configuration like okay, so Kerberos is TGT, right? Like a two-way authentication, authorization and authentication. So Kerberos installation, like installation is a common for all. Just if we want to for hbase, so I will go inside the hbase and then do the configuration. If I want to configure this Kerberos for Hive, okay, so I have to do some configuration in the Hive site.xml. Okay, so Kerberos you have to install commonly, right? It's nothing related to any tool. Okay, your Kerberos should be having a one key tab file, one is a key tab file, and your command should be working. And now after installation configuration, then you can configure to specific tool, right? For the Kerberos, for the Hive or Kerberos. So this is a one JASConf is there. So one JASConf file, this file should be there. Where is you have principal is there, okay, and key tab file is there. So this key tab is your authentication file, right? Basically, okay. So this file should be Kerberos initialization file is there, key tab file is there, JASConf is there. So these are the files are given by the Kerberos. Once you configure the Kerberos, so you will get this file. Here is nothing related to hbase and Hive, but when you go into the Hive, so Hive is you have to do configuration, or you have to add the user for the Hive also. You can add the realm. So you can add a new realm, you can add principal. Okay, so some configuration is really needed. Okay, but mostly configuration you have to do in the your Hive or hbase. Okay, hbase configuration. See, something is like a you tell about your hbase site.xml, like I want to use the authentication of the Kerberos. So once your hbase will get this configuration, hbase you defined in hbase site.xml, like Kerberos. Okay, I'm telling authorization is true, I'm making it. Okay, I just want to do authentication only, so I can make it authorization false. So just only authentication will be done. You are a right person or not. but how many, like what access you have, that will not be checked. But if you are using true this authorization, so authorization will be checked, right? Like what access you have. So this is a principle of these things, right? So this configuration you need to do for specific. Okay, this is a key tab file you are telling. Okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
got it.
But you should have first Kerberos is installed and configured, right? Then
It's
only
a
you
kind
can
of
do this.
key file, right? So it's a, let's say for the if you want to go ahead with the VM or anything, right? There is a PEM file which is required. So similar to that here also,
Yeah.
the kind of
See,
similar.
PAM file is also for private public key file. One is a local file,
Mm.
that is PAM file we say, or we can create a one PPK also, right? So
Yeah.
when you are the similar file is there in the cloud account, right? So it is just matching it and then it is allowing you, right? So same thing is here in the you are authentic user or not, right? So if you are trying with your user, right? So your user, or sometimes we use service account, right? We don't use our user, right? So higher environment, we don't run command with our user account. We use the service account, right? The service account is there, right? For the like production service account, QA service account. So that service account is used. For development environment, we have a specific our own environment. So we don't use service account. We are using our own key tab file also we can create. There is a command is there, key gen, similar way, like we create a key generate public private key we create. Same way we can create in the like one key tab file we can create for ourselves. Yeah, there is a command, right? Create tab file. It's related to Linux only. This is like the tab. There is a command. I tried for the Impala connection. So earlier we were using Impala connection through the username password. The problem comes, so whenever we want to write, like do the authentication, so username password is must. So and this username password is exposed, right? Anybody can see the username password, right, in our configuration file. So we have removed that and we provided all this key tab authentication. So it will automatically read from the key tab file. So we can create our key tab file. Also, we can create some specific command to create a key tab file. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Anybody has any question? Okay. So tomorrow I will cover a Scala and Python. Already I covered my Scala workshop. Okay. My YouTube channel. Okay. So I have already uploaded. If you can go through it. Okay. And go through this Java T point Scala. It is really good tutorial. So I'll prepare. I have already shared my this notes also for the Scala one. You don't need to go to the website and run again. Or if you want to practice from here, you can do it. It is all like fundamental concept and functions and higher order function, loop, classes, okay, case class and exception handling, collections, and the file handling. Okay. So this you can get it. Okay. I find so actually here if you see, yeah, this one. So this is the two videos list, Scala session 1 and Scala session 2. So you can see here the videos, okay. So and this notepad file in the drive, okay. So you can access, or otherwise I will pin the drive for this, so you can get the text file data to practice, okay. And Python, I will follow from the W3 school. You can follow any tutorial, okay, but I prefer this one. So you can follow this Python completely here. So MySQL connections you can do. You can connect to the MongoDB with the Python, right? Using the cursor and then query and sort, like multiple commands you can run once you get the connection with the MongoDB and MySQL. And other core APIs, right? This will not do. We will not matplotlib or this machine learning. This is not part of data engineering. We need to learn in a simple Python like this collections and loops, functions, and classes and exception handling. And some more libraries are there like JSON library and the CSV library, Parquet library. So those are different libraries to read the different other file format data. Regex we can use, and exception handling and file handling. Okay. So you can follow any Python tutorial is fine, but just for basic learning, understanding, like collections, you can see here the examples and you can run the examples. Okay. So tomorrow I will cover Scala Python. So it will be little quick I will do. So if you can follow the video and or you can follow the tutorial, so it will be quick to understand. Okay. Yeah, thanks everyone to attend the session. I will upload video on the YouTube and I'll give it.
Okay, Arvind, thank you very much for the session.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Enjoy